They called my a liar, hung a cardboard sign around her neck that read family shame, and left her famished in the corner, while the rest of them feasted on Christmas dinner. When I came home from my shift, I found her dozing on the sofa, her cheeks streaked with tears, her stomach empty, grasping that sign like it was proof the world despised her. I didn't weep, I didn't shout, I acted. It still astounds me how quickly kin can become venomous. When I was younger, I believed family meant sanctuary. My parents promoted unity, my siblings pledged loyalty. But over the years, those words rang hollow. Each holiday turned into a spectacle, with gifts being judged and conversations becoming a competition. My daughter and I, living modestly and working hard, were always the easiest targets. I overlooked it for the sake of peace and the illusion of belonging until that Christmas, until that cardboard sign. I meticulously pieced together the truth. My daughter told me between her sobs that she had spoken up when her cousin took some cookies meant for dessert. She told the truth, but they disapproved. So they labeled her a liar, made an example of her, and stripped her of her dignity, one sneer at a time. Her small hands trembled as she confessed, and she kept asking me, "Am I really ashamed, Mama?" That was the last moment I allowed my family to have any control over me. My sorrow transformed into a plan. I didn't rush, I didn't raise my voice. I observed and I remembered. For years, I had been the silent witness to their debts, their secrets, and their skeletons, hidden in shallow graves. I never intended to use them until this point. Step one was the ledger my brother enjoyed boasting about his business. What he never mentioned was how often he siphoned money from company accounts for his own personal indulgences. I had copies of his transfers, enough to suggest fraudulent activity. Step two was my sister's job as a respected educator. I had screenshots from an old phone of text messages she sent me about ridiculing parents and putting down their kids, which I saved as ammunition. Step three was my parents, the supposed pillars and moral core of the family. I had photos of my father gambling for cash in the back room of a bar he swore he never entered. Each of these facts on their own was sharp, but together they were a formidable weapon I could use as I saw fit. I spent 2 nights preparing, making anonymous envelopes and notes with copies of the evidence. On the third morning, I sent them not to strangers, but to the people who were most important to them. My brother's business partner received the account transfers. My sister's school board received the screenshots, and my father's church elder received the photographs. Then I sat back and I waited. It didn't take long. 2 days later, my phone lit up with call after call of hysterical voices. My brother's business was under investigation, with his partner furious and threatening to withdraw. My sister was summoned to an emergency meeting with the principal, her reputation fracturing. And my father, red-faced and raging, was dealing with rumors of his gambling reaching his cherished church. They called me like drowning people desperate for a lifeline, but I let the phone ring. The culmination came when they cornered me at my front door. All of them, their faces were frantic and their voices were elevated. "What did you do?" My brother demanded. "You're tearing this family apart," my sister screamed. My father trembled with fury. "You think you're better than us." I didn't budge. I opened my door wider, and behind me my daughter was seated at the kitchen table, eating the biggest plate of flapjacks I could make. Her head lifted and her eyes were wide and alert. I looked each of them in the eye, calmly and precisely. "You labeled a child a disgrace. I said you left her hungry on Christmas. You humiliated her to boost your own ego." A silence fell over them as keen as a razor. "You thought there would be no repercussions." I stepped aside so they could see her whole and nourished without any sign of shame. Just a little girl who now understood her mother would burn down an empire for her. Consider this balance restored. I told them, every time you attempted to diminish her dignity, I seized a piece of yours. If you want the damage to stop, stay away from us. My daughter's eyes never left me. She was learning. She was watching resilience take form. They departed broken, scrambling to mend the wreckage I had created. And for the first time in years, my home was tranquil and peaceful. Do I have any regrets? No, because a family is supposed to protect its children, not abandon them. And the night they labeled my daughter a disgrace, they branded themselves with something far worse. I didn't cry, I didn't beg, I used their own misdeeds against them. And when I tucked my daughter into bed, that night she whispered, "Mama, am I still a disgrace?" I kissed her forehead and said, "No, baby, you are the reason they finally learned what true disgrace means."